This story happened when I was around 12 or 13 years old, about 10 years ago. One Friday night, my parents told me they were going to have dinner with their friends, which meant that I would be home alone for the night. Since I was their only child, they would sometimes leave me alone. And I always felt cool and grown up having the whole house to myself. I asked if my friend Ryan could come over, and he did. We played basketball and video games until my parents left. After Ryan went home, I played Madden on my PlayStation in my room. About 20 minutes later, I thought I heard a noise coming from downstairs. It was around 9:00 p.m. when I heard a noise downstairs, but I thought it was my parents coming home, so I didn't pay much attention to it. Later, my mom called and said they wouldn't be back for another hour, but I had forgotten about the noise. As I was playing video games, I saw someone walk past my bedroom out of the corner of my eye. I thought it might be our cat, but I got scared and didn't feel safe in my room anymore. I wanted to leave the house, but I was too afraid to move. I waited in silence to see if I heard anything else, but there was no noise. Then I heard a creaking sound at the end of the hall past my bedroom. I became scared and didn't know who or what was there. My door didn't have a lock, but I wanted to get downstairs and outside safely. I sat quietly in my chair and stared at the crack in my door, hoping whoever was there would walk by again. After a couple of minutes, I gathered enough courage to quietly walk over to the door and listen. When I heard nothing, I decided to quickly leave my room and go downstairs and outside. However, my curiosity got the better of me, and I looked down the hall. To my surprise, I saw a dirty woman with messy hair crouched against the wall with her hands over her face. As soon as the woman saw me, she started screaming, which scared me even more. I ran as fast as I could down the stairs and out the front door, while the screaming grew louder. Outside, I immediately called my parents, who told me to call the police. I ran to my friend Ryan's house, which was 5 minutes away. My parents picked me up from Ryan's, and we all went back to my house. When we got there, we saw multiple police cars with flashing lights and an ambulance. I had to talk to the police, and my parents did too. It turned out that when Ryan left, he left the front door open, and a woman who was on drugs walked right in. It was a scary experience that I will never forget. This happened when I was 15 years old. As a birthday present, my parents gave me an Xbox and a monitor that I could use to play games in my room. My room was upstairs, and in the weeks following my birthday, I spent a lot of time up there. One Saturday night, I was talking with two of my friends from school on an Xbox party chat. My parents had gone out of town for a work convention, so I was home alone. I had my headphones on, and the volume was pretty loud. During our conversation, I heard a thumping sound coming from downstairs. If you've ever been home alone as a kid, you'll know that any strange noise can make your mind start imagining the worst. I lowered the volume and removed one headphone from my ear. After 5 minutes, I heard the same sound again. I told my two friends, who suggested that I check it out in a joking way, saying that someone might have broken in. I laughed and agreed to check it out during our next game break. I took off my headphones and started walking towards the stairs. As I walked down, I heard soft whispering, and I froze halfway down, trying to determine if the sound was real. I looked into the living room and saw 4 men dressed in black silently walking around. I was shocked and didn't know what to do, but I knew I had to get back upstairs. As I was walking back up, one of the stairs creaked loudly, and I panicked, thinking the men might have heard it. I ran to my room, put on my headset, and told my friends to call the police because there were intruders in my house. They were confused and asked for more information, but I didn't have time to explain. I just asked them to hurry and threw my headset on the desk. I knew that locking myself in my room would make it obvious that I was inside, so I locked the door and stayed quiet. Instead of going to my room, I decided to hide in the bathroom with the lights off and the doors slightly open. I heard multiple footsteps coming up the stairs, and they got louder until they started banging on my bedroom door. The people outside were yelling at me to open the door or something bad would happen. I was scared and didn't know what to do. I tried to escape through the bathroom window, but I made too much noise and someone started coming down the hallway. As the bathroom door opened, I jumped out of the window, landing badly on my neck. I saw someone standing at the bathroom window looking at me. Then, 3 men came running towards me as I tried to get up and run. They grabbed me, but the sound of police sirens interrupted them. The 3 men chasing me suddenly stopped and ran away when they heard police sirens. When the police arrived, I told them which direction the men had gone, but only one was caught. The other 3 got away and were never found. While the police were asking me questions, my friends who I was playing video games with showed up on their bikes. I'm grateful they called the police, as it likely saved my life. Inside the house, the police found 4 knives and a couple of loaded guns. I'm 34 years old and live alone in a big house that is usually meant for a large family. Even though I was married and had children, I got divorced a year ago and stayed in this house because I didn't have the time to move out. The house is very quiet, and I can hear a lot of sounds echoing through it all the time. The most common sound is from the air conditioner, which makes a loud thud noise in the walls and echoes through the house. At first, it was scary, but I got used to it. One Thursday night after a long day at work, I went to my room to change my clothes, watch TV, and relax. I didn't spend much time downstairs because I had everything I needed in my room. As I lay on my bed with my eyes closed, I heard the sound of the air conditioner again. I didn't open my eyes and try to relax, but after an hour, I realized that I still hadn't fallen asleep. I got out of bed because I was hungry for dinner. When I opened my bedroom door, I heard that banging sound again, which was strange because the air conditioner usually only made that noise once or twice a day when I adjusted the thermostat. I checked the upstairs thermostat and saw that it was off, so I didn't know why the air conditioner was running. I was more frustrated than scared at that point. I went downstairs to the kitchen and heated up some leftover pizza in the oven while I used my phone. Then the banging sound happened again, but much louder this time, and it felt like it shook the whole house. I started to get scared and wondered what could be causing the noise. After I finished eating, I quickly went to the basement to check the air conditioner. I didn't want to feel scared all night. I just wanted to figure out what was going on and be done with it. I went down to the basement and turned on the lights. It was just a regular unfinished basement with some old furniture and seasonal decorations. I walked over to the AC unit, but I wasn't sure what to look for. I didn't find anything obviously wrong, but I did notice that it was completely turned off. This made me feel uneasy. I decided to check other rooms on the first floor, but as I was walking back to the stairs, I saw a figure under them. The lighting was dim, but I could see the person's eyes. The person was hiding behind some boxes under the stairs. They noticed me too. I stopped walking and we made eye contact, but I wished I had just ignored them and kept walking. However, I panicked and ran up the stairs, locking the door and using a kitchen chair to barricade it. I didn't hear them chasing me, so I assumed they didn't want to fight. I called the police and stood by the basement door in case they tried to escape. I was afraid, but I didn't want the person to get away. I stayed on the phone with the police until they said they were 3 minutes away. Then I heard the person hitting something repeatedly, and it sounded like it was a heavy, solid object, such as the concrete floor or wall. The hits were too strong and seemed like they could damage the wall. I thought the person downstairs was hitting the floor, but I wasn't sure why. After around 20 hits, the noise stopped. Shortly after, the police arrived and arrested the man. He looked like a regular person, not like someone who would break into a house. The police found 2 tools near him, a crowbar and a hammer. They showed me the damage the man had caused in the basement. In one corner, there was rubble and wood scattered everywhere, and on the wall, there were huge dents where the man had tried to break into an old safe. The damage was so bad that the safe was almost unrecognizable. And I was shocked that the safe hadn't been broken into, especially since there was nothing inside. The person who sold us the house had given us the code, but I never used it. The police officer told me that burglars often target safes in big houses and don't steal anything else. It's scary to think that anyone could be capable of doing something like this, especially since the man who broke in looked so normal. I fixed the wall and covered the safe, but I'm planning to move to a smaller house where I can be more vigilant because things could have gone much worse. Thanks for watching. If you're a horror lover, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a spine-tingling story. Don't forget to leave a comment down below with your favorite horror story or idea for future videos.